David Muir, ABC's World News Tonight, America's most watched newscast. Now streaming same day with all the breaking news of the day on Disney Plus. Most watched, most trusted. Now on Disney Plus every night.
Tonight, the breaking news: the suspect charged with attempted assassination of President Trump. Prosecutors say chilling surveillance video shows Cole Allen sprinting through that security at the Washington Hilton Hotel, armed with multiple guns and knives. Authorities say the Secret Service firing 5 times at the suspect. First Lady Melania Trump mouthing the words, "What happened?" as agents rushed the stage. President Trump, the First Lady, Vice President J.D. Vance raced to a secure area. Late today, U.S. Attorney Jeanine Pirro saying, make no mistake, this was an attempted assassination of the president. And what we've now learned here tonight, the suspect coming down 10 flights of stairs with those weapons unnoticed. And when he allegedly booked that hotel room, when he checked in, we'll go live to Pierre Thomas tonight. Also breaking tonight, tornado warnings and watches as we come on the air. Millions bracing for severe storms across several states right now. Many major cities in the path tonight. The National Weather Service now calling this a particularly dangerous situation. We'll go live to Ginger Z in the storm zone. The war in Iran tonight with talks stalled. The Strait of Hormuz closed. Vladimir Putin now welcoming one of the top Iranian diplomats to Russia, vowing to support Iran. And what ABC News has learned tonight about the White House now weighing an Iranian proposal. Tonight, the horrific case, 2 college roommates missing, remains found, and prosecutors now accusing the alleged killer, the 3rd roommate, of using ChatGPT for advice on how to cover up the murders. The images coming in late today, King Charles and Queen Camilla arriving here in the U.S. The flight to Chicago diverted to Boston, the passenger restrained. Also, the flight from Atlanta that landed with an extra passenger, the mother who gave birth. The images tonight, the terrifying accident, a cable breaking on a slingshot ride, multiple injuries. The massive NASCAR pileup, 26 cars. In New York City tonight, the test run. Would you take this taxi? An electric helicopter. They say it looks like a large drone flying from Manhattan to JFK Airport in just minutes. Tonight, a week of wishes. The 16-year-old and his wish come true. Wow. America strong. And on a hot streak, the Jeopardy champ looking to make a little more history right here tonight. Will he pull it off?
From ABC News World Headquarters in New York, this is World News Tonight with David Muir.
Good evening. We begin tonight here with the breaking news. The suspect now charged with the attempted assassination of President Trump during the White House Correspondents' Dinner in Washington, D.C. Late today, prosecutors revealing multiple charges. They say that chilling surveillance video shows 31-year-old Cole Allen sprinting through security at the Washington Hilton Hotel, armed with 2 guns and 3 knives. The Secret Service firing 5 times at the suspect. He was not hit. A Secret Service agent was shot, saved by his vest. First Lady Melania Trump clearly shaken, mouthing the words, "What happened?" as agents then rushed the stage, the First Lady ducking down, agents moving in to protect the President and the First Lady. Not far from them, on the other end of the stage, Vice President J.D. Vance pulled away by Secret Service. President Trump and the First Lady then seen being taken from the stage to a secure area. Cole Allen taken into custody face down on the floor. This afternoon, we were on the air here as U.S. Attorney Jeanine Pirro said, make no mistake, this was an attempted assassination of the President of the United States. Authorities say the suspect sent a message to his family, an email timed to be sent as he was about to allegedly attack, describing himself as a, quote, friendly federal assassin. Tonight, we have new reporting here when he booked that hotel room, when he checked into that hotel, and then allegedly making it down 10 flights of stairs Saturday night with those weapons undetected. Pierre Thomas leading us off tonight.
Tonight, 31-year-old Cole Allen, the man who authorities say opened fire outside the White House Correspondents' Dinner, accused of trying to kill President Trump.
Make no mistake, this was an attempted assassination of the President of the United States, with the defendant making clear what his intent was. And that intent was to bring down as many of the high-ranking cabinet officials as he could.
Allen appearing for the first time before a judge today, formally charged with an assassination attempt, as prosecutors laid out a new detailed timeline. In early April, 1 month after President Trump announced he would attend the gala, prosecutors say Allen made a reservation at the Washington Hilton for 3 nights, traveling by train last Tuesday from his hometown of Los Angeles through Chicago to the nation's capital, arriving Friday when he checked into the hotel, which allowed him to get his weapons inside undetected. Then, just as the dinner was getting underway, Allen allegedly made his way down 10 flights of stairs before racing to a security checkpoint, armed with a 12-gauge pump-action shotgun and a .38 caliber pistol and 3 knives.
He is very much aware that the president and the first lady entered the ballroom at 8 p.m. And it was at 8:40 that he made a decision to rush the ballroom. And thank goodness, law enforcement, the Secret Service, was able to prevent him from getting into that ballroom.
One agent shot in the chest but protected by a bulletproof vest. That agent firing 5 shots at Allen, who fell to the ground suffering minor injuries but who was not shot.
We do believe that, as the complaint lays out, that the suspect, that the defendant fired it out of his shotgun.
This hotel virtual view showing where the agent stopped that gunman before he would be able to race down this staircase and gain access to the ballroom 1 floor below. As shots rang out, confusion and chaos inside the ballroom as federal agents rushed through the crowd of 2,600 government officials and journalists onto the stage. First Lady Melania Trump clearly shaken, mouthing, "What happened?" as agents pulled the vice president out of his chair and backstage. Another agent throwing himself toward the president. Seconds later, the president and first lady rushed off stage. The crowd dropping to the ground, hiding under tables. Cabinet secretaries taken away by their security details. Secretary of State Marco Rubio, Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr., Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth. Prosecutors say Allen sent his family an email message, time for delivery at the time of the shooting, explaining his action in what the government calls a manifesto. In the message, Allen is allegedly angry about a number of administration policies, including immigration, and that his goal was to kill administration officials. They are targets, prioritized from highest ranking to lowest. Allen allegedly claiming he would kill anyone who got in his way, and allegedly referring to himself as cold, friendly federal assassin Allen. Beyond the evidence in what the judge described as the manifesto, what other evidence can you point to that tells us that the president was the primary target of the suspect?
So we're a day and a half into the investigation. As we talked about earlier, we were able to get multiple devices from various locations, the hotel room and also his where he lived in California. We have started that process.
Allen was once a promising student, graduating from Caltech in 2017 with an engineering degree. Here he is in an interview showing a braking device he designed for safer wheelchairs.
The wheelchair brakes tend to lock the wheels, but don't actually lock the chair to the ground. The idea with this is to prevent it from moving at all.
Recently, Allen had been working as a college test prep tutor, even winning an award as Teacher of the Month. The investigation continues, and President Trump, the target of multiple assassination attempts, says he wants to reschedule the dinner within 30 days.
We very much wanted to continue it because I don't like to let these sick people, these thugs, these horrible people, change the fabric of our life, change the course of what we do.
And today we asked the Attorney General about violence against political figures. Beyond the assassination attempts against President Trump, you had someone try to burn down the mansion where the governor lives in Pennsylvania. You had those state lawmakers attacked in Minnesota. You had 2 Israeli embassy staff members murdered in the city here. You had the Charlie Kirk assassination. You had the National Guardsman killed in the city. Can you, each of you, describe the current threat environment and what DOJ's stance is about it?
Well, you just described the current threat environment pretty accurately, which is that the political violence and rhetoric has got to stop.
And David, back to the moment when the suspect raced past that checkpoint. Authorities say the officer was shot but was protected by his vest. Tonight it's unclear whether that bullet came from friendly fire. Allen now facing an assassination charge and a maximum penalty of life in prison if convicted, David.
All right, Pierre Thomas leading us off here after reporting all weekend long. Pierre, we thank you and our entire Washington team. Thank you. The other breaking news tonight, millions of Americans right now bracing for severe storms. Several states, major cities in the path tonight. What the National Weather Service is now calling a particularly dangerous situation. Chief Meteorologist Ginger Z is in the storm zone. She's got the latest forecast and the images coming in already tonight.
Tonight, a dangerous situation developing as the relentless and deadly severe weather outbreak now targets major cities in the Midwest.
Just landed in St. Louis, very turbulent, but now there's a tornado warning here in St. Louis. Ton of lightning around us, so we're gonna pull over to get safe.
Violent winds east of Kansas City in Slater, Missouri, storms ripping apart grain silos. Overnight, 7 reported tornadoes in Kansas and Oklahoma. This train in Oswego, Kansas, derailed, cars on their side. Deadly storms hitting North Texas Saturday, northwest of Fort Worth.
Large wedge tornado near Runaway Bay.
One person was killed after an EF2 tornado with 135-mile-per-hour winds damaged at least 20 homes. Lightning sparking an explosion at this natural gas facility in Springtown. Not far from there, at least one person killed in a mobile home park. Multiple homes destroyed nearby by tornadic winds over 100 miles per hour.
This could be another difficult night ahead. Let's get right to Ginger. She's live from Illinois tonight. Ginger, what are you most concerned about?
You know, David, the arch behind me is in a tornado watch until 9 p.m. because the atmosphere is just primed to make tornadoes. That mean-looking line to my northwest could have some discrete cells, meaning cells that are alone that could twist. We'll watch for that. But that particularly dangerous situation tornado watch that includes Mount Vernon, Illinois, Carbondale, Cape Girardeau, Missouri, down to Memphis, up to Evansville and Paducah, that's the one to watch until 11 p.m. for strong tornadoes, talking up to EF3 or greater in strength. So it's the overnight, right? That late night after the sun goes down, so dangerous as we watch that line blow through the Mid-South even. And then I anticipate more tornado watches for a place like Little Rock. And David, we've got a whole nother day tomorrow for 6 days in a row of this severe weather outbreak.
We'll see you first thing in the morning on Good Morning America, Ginger. Thanks for the forecast. There are also new developments tonight in the war in Iran tonight, with talks stalled and the Strait of Hormuz closed. Vladimir Putin now welcoming a top Iranian diplomat to Russia, vowing to support Iran. And what ABC News has learned about an Iranian proposal the White House is now weighing. Here's Martha Raddatz on that.
Tonight, with the Strait of Hormuz still shut down and U.S. Iran peace talks stalled, Vladimir Putin now taking the stage, meeting face-to-face with Iran's foreign minister Abbas Araghchi in Russia. Putin pledging support for Iran, telling Araghchi he wants peace soon. In Washington today, the president meeting with his national security team. Officials telling ABC News the White House discussing an Iranian proposal to reopen the critical Strait of Hormuz in exchange for allowing the regime to profit from ships passing through and leaving nuclear talks for some future date. Secretary of State Marco Rubio saying if Iran plans to charge tolls for ships in the strait, that is unacceptable.
If what they mean by opening the straits is get our permission or we'll blow you up and you pay us, that's not opening the straits.
And David, the administration has been very clear about what has to happen in the Strait of Hormuz, insisting that anything short of a return to the pre-war status quo in the strait is a non-starter. David?
Martha Raddatz from Washington, thank you. We turn now to the horrific case. 2 college roommates missing, remains found, and prosecutors now accusing the alleged killer, the third roommate, of asking ChatGPT for advice on how to cover up the murders. Here's Victor Oquendo tonight.
Tonight, prosecutors allege suspected murderer Hisham Abu Gharbie used an artificial intelligence chatbot to help cover up the deaths of his 2 University of South Florida roommates. According to court records, a search warrant executed for Abu Gharbie's phone, revealing several inquiries to ChatGPT starting about 3 days before the pair disappeared, asking what happens if a person is put in a black garbage bag and thrown in a dumpster, and will neighbors hear my gun? Prosecutors also say he purchased duct tape, fire starter, lighter fuel, and trash bags. Abu Gharbie was arrested after this tense standoff with police on Friday, now facing multiple charges, including 2 counts of first-degree murder in the deaths of grad students Zamil Lehman and Nahida Bristi. The students missing for more than a week before police discovered Lehman's body in a set of black trash bags discarded along a bridge in Tampa. He had suffered numerous stab wounds. Sunday, the sheriff's office confirmed a second body was discovered and was taken to the medical examiner's office for identification.
And tonight, Florida's Attorney General says they are expanding their criminal investigation into OpenAI to include the USF murders after learning the primary suspect used ChatGPT. David?
All right, Victor Oquendo, thank you. In Washington at this hour, King Charles and Queen Camilla here for their state visit with President Trump. The trip comes amid strained ties with Britain over the war in Iran and other issues. Let's get right to James Longman, who is stateside for a change, covering the visit. Hi, James.
Hi, David. Yeah, Charles is here to mark 250 years of American independence, but there are other issues that are looming large over this trip, namely the Epstein scandal and the war in Iran. On Epstein, we know that the King's brother Andrew has already faced scandal, pushed out from public life, and also the former British ambassador to the United States. On Iran, we know that the British Prime Minister has been the subject of multiple attacks by Donald Trump, angry that Britain has not joined the United States in its war there. So this is a delicate diplomatic mission for King Charles. Tomorrow he will address both houses of Congress, and there'll be a dinner here at the White House. David.
We'll be tracking it right here with you, James, with live coverage tomorrow. Thank you. When we come back tonight, the images coming in late today, the partial collapse of a diner right into the street, the images coming in. Also, a flight to Chicago diverted to Boston. The passenger who had to be restrained, we'll tell you what happened. The terrifying accident, a cable breaking on a slingshot ride. Onlookers were horrified when this happened. In New York City, the test run, would you take this taxi right here? It's an electric helicopter. A lot of people weighing in on this. And on a hot streak tonight, the Jeopardy champ looking to make a little more history right after the news tonight. Will he pull it off? A lot more news ahead. We'll be right back. To other news tonight, a flight diverted to Boston because of an unruly passenger. The United Airlines flight from Germany to Chicago, pilots detoured to Logan Airport. Police say a passenger had to be restrained on board the flight, now in custody tonight. A Delta Airlines flight landing with an extra passenger, a mother going into labor as the plane from Atlanta was preparing to land in Portland, Oregon. Crew members, a doctor, and 2 nurses helping to deliver a healthy baby girl. Mom and baby both doing well tonight. Some scary moments at a fairground in Spain. The images online from Seville. 2 children inside this slingshot ride. You're going to see the cable snap here, the cage slamming into a metal beam before stopping. The children inside that ride suffering only minor injuries. And back here in the U.S. tonight, a partial building collapse at a diner in Albuquerque. Part of the building tumbling down, exposing 2 floors of Lindy's Diner. It was vacant at the time. That's a good thing. The city ordered it closed 2 weeks ago after inspectors deemed the building unsafe. When we come back tonight, the massive NASCAR pileup, 26 cars. Also tonight, a hot streak. The Jeopardy champ looking to make a little more history tonight. What he's hoping to pull off in a moment. To the index and to NASCAR tonight, a massive 26-car pileup at the Talladega Superspeedway. Bubba Wallace leading the pack on lap 115 here. This was Sunday when it appears his car was hit from behind. You see the purple car drifting into the path of others, triggering a chain reaction crash. The race briefly brought to a halt. No one, luckily, injured. Would you take this taxi in New York City? Air taxis now being tested. Joby Aviation conducting 10 days of demo flights. The electric air taxi, built like an oversized drone, gets you from Manhattan to JFK Airport in 7 minutes. The Jeopardy champ on a record run, Jamie Ding going for win number 32 tonight to tie for 4th place for consecutive games won. We wish him luck. When we come back tonight, a week of wishes right here, and you'll see one wish come true in a moment. America Strong, Disney's Week of Wishes. Here's Deborah Roberts.
You're looking at the drawings of a young man with a dream. E.J. Maldonado from Chicago was born with a rare liver disease and got a life-saving liver transplant. During his years in and out of the hospital, his family telling us that Disney, ABC's parent company, became a source of comfort, joy, and inspiration for him. Ever since, EJ has dreamed of becoming a Disney animator. Turns out that for more than 40 years, Disney and Make-A-Wish Foundation have been teaming up. EJ and his family pulling up to headquarters. Then, the first surprise.
Mr. DeMauro.
Walt Disney Company CEO Josh DeMauro there to meet him.
How awesome is this? Pretty awesome.
Josh taking EJ inside.
You're about to see some of the most, come on, talented animators in the world.
The team lining the halls. Josh introducing EJ to the animators and to one of his idols.
Wonderful to meet you.
Eric Goldberg, the artist behind the genie in Aladdin, showing EJ the secrets to bringing the characters to life, drawing Donald Duck with Donald Duck's classic laugh.
I've seen firsthand how powerful a wish can be. It's something that you'll never forget.
Tonight, EJ and his family sending us these images, of EJ already practicing what he learned.
I was like, wow, I can't believe it. It's something I will never forget. It's something I'll cherish forever to achieve my dream.
EJ made a wish come true. I'll see you tomorrow. Good night.
David Muir, the most trusted anchor in America, the most watched anchor in America. Thank you for making World News Tonight with David Muir the #1 newscast in America.